It's Valentine's Day and I'm a single dad. So I decided that I'm going to make a video and go over what I think is the best Jeep Wrangler to build and kind of reasons why. Give y'all a walk around of what I've done on mine. I think this is a 2012, which I think is about the right time to buy the Jeep Wranglers, was 2012 to about 2000, I think it was 14 or 15, and that's the only reason they changed a PCM, which they started locking the PCMs, which made it harder to reprogram them. So anyway, let's get on with this and some of the stuff that I've done. Okay, we're going to start at the back here. I've added, this was a Smittybilt carrier. The original carrier on these is not very strong. You put a 38-inch tire on them, they're going to start failing. These are fairly reasonable for the price. It's carrying a beadlock wheel with a 38, weighs about 120 pounds roughly. Doesn't vibrate on the back and none of that, so it's pretty decent. We have a poison spider bumper, which is pretty solid. Had to get rid of the plastic. Whereas the newer Jeeps, all these came with plastic bumpers, plastic fenders. The newer Jeeps are coming with plastic bumpers, plastic fenders, unless you get a Rubicon. And I still think there's drawbacks to those in what you're getting. The 2012 has a 3.6 Pentastar motor, which puts out good horsepower. The transmission is a 5-speed. The newer ones come with an 8-speed, but they still have to be re-geared because you're not going to get the full 8-speed gearing. If you go with larger tires, they will stay stuck in 6th gear, maybe 7th. If you're on flat ground, they might go to 8th. But this one, running 38s, I have 456 gears in it with the 5-speed, and it does fine down the highway. It does pretty good on hills. I can run 75 down the highway. RPMs aren't too high with 456 gears. They're roughly around 2,700 RPMs, maybe 28. And it averages about 15 to 18 depending on the wind and uphill or flat. So for performance, you don't really gain anything with the newer ones. They were designed more towards getting the economy and miles per gallons up with them being stock. So once you start modifying them, you start having to change all the stuff you have to change on the old ones. So in that aspect, they are not any better. On this one, it's not a Rubicon, it was a Sport. And so we have the Dana 44 rear axle and the Dana 30. On the newer ones, some of them came with Dana 30s. Some of them came with a newer, I think it was a newer 44 up front with the Rubicons. But this one, I have done a flip kit so I don't get bump steer. I'm still running the stock tie rod bar. I haven't had any issues yet. And we have 456 gears in the front with a Eaton E-locker. And same as the back, it's a Dana 44 with 456 gears with the Dana with the Eaton E-locker. As you can see here, we have the Rock Jock sway bar. So basically you don't have to get out, undo your sway bar links. You can just leave it detached. It gets pretty much the same amount of flex as if you detach it, and on-road handling is pretty decent. These are I think they were Metal Cloak springs. I think they were the 3.5 dual rate spring. These are teraflex tuned Fox shocks for a 3.5 to 4.5 inch lift with adjustable, and that actually works out pretty good. The adjustment, you can go firm, you can go soft, and get about the right height. If you're going fast and hitting a bunch of bumps, you firm it up a little bit so it's not bottoming out as hard. Or mostly on the street, if I'm just city driving, I'm usually around like 3 or 4 on the settings. It has nine settings. We have JCR rock sliders on the sides, and those are Dirty Life beadlock wheels. And let's see, go underneath. Right here we have the teraflex Alpine long arm kit. So we cut off the old mounts and welded these on and ran the long arms back. When I did that, it definitely improved the ride and the way the thing flexes off-road. As far as clearance, I don't know if you can tell, but it does not really mess up any kind of clearance because you got your gas tank right there anyway. So even going back, it might be a 1/2 inch lower right here, which you're right by the tire anyway. So it doesn't affect anything really. Same as up front here. You got your cross member right there that was gonna hit, and your arms are right there. About the same, yeah, about the same level. You can look across to the other one. Doesn't stick down anymore. Now, if you have the stock arms, to be honest, I can't remember where they were connected at. It was somewhere in this area, but they would have been a little bit more of an angle, and it basically you felt bumps to be harsher when you hit them with the stock arms, whereas this one, it's more of a flat and it just kind of glides up over when you hit bumps or whatever. I mean, they really do make a difference. It definitely helped it a lot. We have the Poison Spider, I think they were the Defender narrow fenders. They are aluminum. I haven't coated them or done anything to them. They've been on almost a year. I did the Poison Spider inner fender on it with the vents. These motors do run pretty hot, so I figured having the vents would definitely help with that. And we also have the Rock Jock anti-rock sway bar in the back, along with the same shocks in the back. And we have on the back, it's an adjustable. You have to get adjustable drag links so when you go up you can keep the axle centered. And we just did a bracket over here to bring it up a level. Kind of does the same thing as in the front. It keeps it from getting kind of like throwing the vehicles to the side as if the track bar was at an angle. So when it's more flat, it's a lot smoother. It doesn't have that kick to the side as much. I do have a G2 big brake kit, so the calipers in the back I think were 14 or 14 and a half, or not the calipers, the rotors. I put EBC yellow brake pads on the back, and I've been running them quite a while, probably a couple months now, and they really do not put out much brake dust. And whereas the front, it came with the I think it was like a Dynatrack pad or something. It was a G2 kit, but it had like some other off-brand brake pad. It puts out a lot of dust. When I get to the point where I need to change the front, I'm going to go with EBC yellows. They definitely grab a lot better than what it came with. And you can see those are slotted rotors that came with the G2 big brake kit. What else? We have a Smitty built 9,500 pound winch on the front. Has a wired remote, and that's, to me, no big deal. Not worried about a wireless. If I'm going to be winching, I'm going to be out anyway. We have the synthetic rope. It came with the metal or the steel cable. I won't run it. Don't like them. This is a LOD front bumper. I liked the look of this one. I liked the way it fit, the clearance, everything about it. So that's the one I got for the front. And we have some KC lights right here. Let's see. When I have the doors off, I have these little mounts that have mirrors that go to it. We also have the best top Sunrider top up here, which I definitely like the Sunrider top, especially during the summer. We get a lot of rain, wind, so that's what I chose to go with on that. It does come off, and I end up putting the whole top off. I have like a little mesh top that I can put on, and I have tube doors that I can put on if I want to. Okay, the interior here. This is a 2012. It's pretty plain, not a big deal. It's a Jeep. Not looking for all the flashiness and all that. This is less stuff to break. I did add this for a iPad, and I can get it to hold my phone on one side. But it has, you know, your traction button there. It does have a downhill assist and your hazard. That is a left-right power mirrors, and we have power windows. I have an aftermarket head unit in it. All the controls work with the head unit. And over here we stuck our front lights, that one and that one, and then we have our front locker and our rear locker. We stuck some grab handles on it, and this is how it kind of looks with the top up here. Just your basic interior, rubber floor mats. That's about it on the interior. I stuck a little bitty hand grab things in the back for the kids to grab hold of when they get in. Got some rubber mats down there. You have quite a bit of space in the back. Have some other stuff back there for the Corvette build that I'm doing, and I stuck a small hideaway kicker on the side. I will probably change that out sometime in the future. It's not the greatest. It adds a little bit of bass, but it's not much. So I'll probably end up doing a bazooka, which I actually had one in my Tahoe, which is what that was. but that thing is probably about 20 years old and it's blown now. As far as maintenance on this thing, I change the oil in this thing every 3,000 to 4,000 miles. The issues with the motor are you can have some valve issues, which is the lifters can go bad, which I haven't had happen yet. I think keeping the oil changes up on these prevents that, as long as you're using good oil. The head issue that I had with this, I don't think was preventable. That was a manufacturing defect, which you'll find on a lot of the 3.6s, and if it's already been done, then more than likely you won't have that issue again. There was an updated head that they put in these. So other than that, guys, I just felt like I would make a video today and wish you all a happy Valentine's Day. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here, probably see what comments you guys have. And okay, now for tuning, I have the Superchips Flashpack F5, which on the 2012s you can just buy this and not have to change your PCM or have any of that stuff sent off to be unlocked. That's another bonus to having a 2012. Now you can go into tune, show you all a little bit of the stuff that you can do without having to have too much stuff. Okay, vehicle tune, you can go in there, probably gonna take a minute. We got 87 octane tune, which is what I'm running right now. You have mileage XS save, which I haven't really tried. You have crawl, I haven't tried that one. I think it basically just slows down your throttle response so you don't gas it too hard and break something, or the response of it. You have tow, not really towing much with this Jeep. And you have Performance 91 and Performance 93. I have run the Performance 91. It is pretty peppy on that one. I like it. I'm not going to pay for 91 gas right now though. It's a little high. I've run the 93 octane and didn't really notice a huge difference with that on that one. So we're just going to leave it in 87 tune. But it also has a scanner. You can set up gauges on this, battery voltage, so it'll read and clear OBD2 codes for you. So that's a plus to that one, and the year of this one. So anyway, that's pretty much all that I've done to this thing since I've had it. I do change my transmission fluid pretty frequently. I say frequently, you know, every 20-30,000 miles, because no matter what you do on this type of setup, this large of tires, and it's going to be a little bit harder on the transmission than if it was stock. So I just chose that every 30,000 miles I'm going to change transmission fluid in the filter. Don't want to have to be buying a transmission. So anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all watching. Leave comments, like, subscribe. Anyway, guys, I wish y'all a happy Valentine's Day.